Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Salmon. I'm the Vice President of MCLE and Professional Development here at Quimbee. Today, I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing Dr. Juji Carminati, who I'm also lucky enough at this point to know very well at this point in our careers. Dr. Carminati has an LLM in space, cyber, and telecommunications law. She holds a JSD in space law. And in October of 2021, she published a guidebook to her agile-based project management approach, the Livable Law Method. She has also run for a state house seat because, she didn't have enough on her plate. And as you can see, her accomplishments and her interests really run the gamut from space law, like actual outer space, to practice management and diversity and inclusion. And so today we'll be talking about the latter. During the next hour, Juji will be helping me break down something she calls the Livable Law Method, which is a way to utilize practice management to promote diversity and inclusion and combat attrition. So, Juji, let's get into it. First, what prompted you to start looking into the history of law firm billing and the number of hours that attorneys typically work?
I burnt out twice. That's how it started in part, right? I'm a workaholic. I'm a really hard worker. I'm a workhorse, all those things that I know it resonates a lot with attorneys, and I know it resonates a lot with women attorneys. I've heard that a lot. Like, we work really, really, really hard. And I felt like I was kind of running up a dune that was breaking down under my feet, because I thought, for the amount that I'm working, where is my compensation? Where is my, the upside of this? I'm just getting burnt out, and I'm just getting used up. Burnout is literally the consumption of something until it's gone. And so I started thinking, maybe, first I thought there was something wrong with me, which is where everybody starts, I think. And then I started thinking, well, maybe there's something wrong with litigation. And that's when I started looking into the history of, why do we bill the way that we do? Why do we structure the work the way that we do? Why do we manage or not manage ourselves the way that we do? And that's what started that inquiry.
Awesome. And again, full disclosure, I've read your book. Your just the intro alone and your discussion of burnout really resonated with me, although it also scared me because I'm very lucky that I didn't get to that point. But I definitely understand the burnout, especially women, moms, all of that, right? So I really appreciate what you're doing here, and I think we can move on. So can you tell us a little bit about what you found out and what was normal in the past?
Right. So I have all of this, it's really, I go into really a lot of detail over this in my book, but the hilarious part is that, so attorneys used to bill in very different ways, right? There was a time where we would bill flat fees. And there was a time where there were basically flat fees across the board. And then there were some rulings that came out saying you couldn't do that anymore. So the model of how we bill has shifted over time. And then we fell upon this billable hour concept, but it's actually pretty recent, right? I mean, we're talking maybe 70 years old, give or take, 60 or 70 years old. And so this concept of billable hours truly means, right, we know this. I have billed in 6-minute increments for 13 years when I was a litigator, for 13 years of my litigation career. And the problem is that it incentivizes the wrong things, and it creates, and it also assumes a certain structure to our lives that is no longer realistic. Like, it's just not true that our lives are that way. And then I would add the fact that the APA had this article that came out, and it was hilarious because it had these, it said, well, we need to, put a little bit of a reasonableness standard on this billable requirement. And they came up with a number that was bananas, because it really meant that people basically had to work 13 to 14 hours a day in order to bill the number of hours you have to bill. Because look, the numbers are out there, right? I didn't come up with this. For every 2 hours billed, a lawyer has to work 3, right? So then I was looking at their schedule, and I was like, so you really, their reasonableness was people are supposed to work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'm like, I'm sorry, who's picking up the kids? who's going home to their partner? Who's walking their dog in the afternoon? Who's hanging out with their cat? I mean, whatever it is, I don't want to make this family centric. For me, it is a driver because I have 4 kids, but it's not just about, and for a long time it was touted as, oh, it's because women are joining the workforce. Like somehow we were softening the profession. Like, no, man, this is bananas. Who's doing your laundry? Like, who's cleaning up the dishes? Who's doing groceries? Like basic things we have to engage in order to be fully functioning adults. And so that's when I was like, oh, your model is insane. It's just not workable. You cannot expect people to live like this. And that's where, that's where the history of the billable hour, I was like, oh, you're the problem, not me.